Today we are discussing the Cyberpunk 1.1 patch issues, and the game's Cyberware and some Assassin's Creed Valhalla stuff. So, before going into the topics, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon for more interesting and informative topics. Now, the Cyberpunk 2077's 1.1 patch introduces save killing down on the street bug. The latest patch for Cyberpunk has introduced a bug which can potentially cause you to be unable to progress in the game. At the end of the quest down in the street, the character Goro Takemura calls the player. Previous to 1.1 he just wouldn't call sometimes, halting the game. Now Takemura can call the player and just not speak. And that's it. Simply reloading an older save doesn't fix this problem, as the bug will reoccur. That means your saves from after the bug happens are all lost in terms of game progression. But there is a fix if you are lucky enough to have a save from before the bug. CD Projekt Support has a temporary fix, among others posted on forums. Here's how it works. First, load a save from before V and Takemura leave Wakako's office. Once V finishes the conversation with Takemura outside the office and the quest progression updates, immediately skip ahead 23 hours. This should make the call and conversation happen. The Cyberpunk 2077 1.1 patch, which released on Friday, was mostly composed of bug fixes and optimization. Notably, it fixed a previous bug with the down in the street quest, but introduced this one. The workaround actually exists, but it's no guarantee. Next topic discussion is about the Cyberpunk 2077's Cyberware upscales and downscales. Cyberware is a gameplay mechanic unique to Cyberpunk and essential to the TTRPG lore, but they fall short in actual visual modification. Cyberware is a unique part of Cyberpunk's universe, but in Cyberpunk 2077, cybernetic body modifications turned out to be somewhat underwhelming. While they do enhance V's abilities in the ways of hacking, resistance, and types of damage dealt to enemies, many fans were disappointed by the fact that most Cyberware doesn't change V's appearance in Cyberpunk. Lack of options in the way of character customization or otherwise tailoring looks with armor or body equipment is regularly seen in JRPGs and other genres where characters often have specified, stagnant designs. For example, Persona 5 allows players to change out and upgrade armor, but it won't change Joker's or his teammates' appearances. Genshin Impact is an RPG with an array of equipment called artifacts, but none actually show on the characters' bodies and the designs stay the same. But when it comes to open-world games, changing the protagonist's appearance, especially when they're fully customizable, is an expectation. And with Cyberware being such a large part of the Cyberpunk franchise, many players were expecting the body modifications to be more visual and play a larger role. Let's talk about Cyberware in Cyberpunk's lore. Cyberware has become an important part of everyday life in Cyberpunk's lore, for those who can afford it. It is technology permanently installed into the body, typically to interact with the nervous system and provide abilities that would otherwise not be possible. If a Cyberware's purpose isn't meant to enhance abilities, it's meant to enhance appearance. But there are many non-violent practical uses for Cyberware mods, such as recording conversations. However, Cyberware has its risks, which are also an important part of the Cyberpunk tabletops games and Cyberpunk 2077. Overuse of Cyberware or installing too many cybernetic body modifications can lead to the cyberpsychosis and loss of humanity. Lizzie Wizzy and Atom Smasher are examples of this seen in Cyberpunk. Atom Smasher, though he had little human compassion to begin with, lost any leftover ability to feel human empathy after Arezaka made him more machine than man. Wizzy's story is more tragic. After committing suicide in the middle of a concert, a trauma team replaced her entire body with chrome cyberware to save her. During the events of Cyberpunk 2077 and the Violence Quest, V can observe Lizzie becoming dangerously violent in fits of rage. Taking body modding cyberware into consideration. But despite how important cyberware is to the Cyberpunk universe, unlike Lizzie Wizzy, Atom Smasher, and members of the Maelstrom gang, V's cyberware can only change their appearance a small amount, typically only if the mods can be seen in first-person mode. Firstly, there are cyberware mods such as Mantis Blades and Gorilla Arms that can change the look of V's arms drastically. With the Mantis Blades, large blades will stick out of each arm, however, they will only show up in first-person mode and won't show up during photo mode. Some other mods can add some small bits of metal to V's arms which will show up in photo mode. But even though V can mod most parts of their body, including their eyes, skin, and feet. Other than a select few, Cyberware won't change V's visual appearance to the degree that it changes Lizzie's or Atom Smasher's. It operates almost more like a skill tree than changing out equipment, and being a large open-world game, many fans felt let down by its limited visual changes. There are tattoos in Cyberpunk 2077, which were also disappointing to fans. Interestingly, tattoos occupy Cyberware slots and they're a handful V can get during the game. However, in the case of the chip-in in side quest and either of the tattoos Johnny Silverhand can pick from, they don't add any enhancements and are a waste of a mod slot. It's possible that Cyberware was meant to impact V's visual appearance back when Cyberpunk 2077 planned to include third-person scenes in a third-person mode. If that's the case, it's likely that, along with many other elements seen in the controversial Cyberpunk 2077x10³ 2018 demo, it was deemed unnecessary in a game with a first-person-only perspective. So, comment your thoughts on the game's patch and the Cyberware. Before going into the Assassin's Creed Valhalla discussion, I just want to share a artist creation of GTA Protagonistas HD version. Hope you liked the recreation of the characters and especially Tommy Versity looks exceptional. Now, players unlock a new secret weapon in Assassin's Creed Valhalla after hitting a pile of rocks. Players have discovered a new hidden and powerful bow in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. All you have to do is find a specific pile of rocks and hit it a few times and reload your save. Though, this isn't the intended way to get the weapon. Players have discovered that a small, unremarkable pile of rocks in the northern area of the main Valhalla map holds a strange and powerful secret. If you hit these rocks, nothing happens. Unlike similar rock piles in the game, this pile won't break. However, if you hit this pile of rocks a few times, save your game, and reload, well, nothing happens. But repeat this a few times. For most players, it takes about 3 reloads, and eventually, you'll unlock Norden's Arc. Joraptor did a great video showing off the rock method, how players even figured it out and how powerful the bow is. Spoilers, it's very deadly. This hunter bow is an Isu weapon. The Isu were an ancient civilization of super powerful beings who enslaved humans and, look, you probably don't care and I don't have the time to fully explain it. They were powerful and aren't around anymore, but their relics and weapons still exist, like this bow. That's the short version. Because, while this method works reliably, it doesn't seem like the way Ubisoft would have intended players to unlock this special weapon. It seems like a glitch. This was confirmed earlier today by Darby McDevitt, the narrative director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. McDevitt explained on Twitter, in a reply to a Joraptor tweet, that this method was a clever brute force hack that might be useful for speedrunners. However, he clarified that there is an actual in-game way to unlock this bow, but didn't say how. Though when someone pointed out that some player must have solved the secret by now, McDevitt vaguely responded, "Someone almost has." And that's all for the video, and if you want to see how the weapon equip works and how to get the bow, I've given the video link in my description, and until then, goodbye.